likely teams that may be interested in Jay pay him $5 million. That means the Bears still owe Jay $11 million because that $5 million theoretical hypothetical would be offset. So Jay gets his $16 million no matter what. The Bears are off the hook for 5 of his 16, but then you got to get another quarterback, and you got to pay him what? $5 million, or maybe you can draft a guy or put David Fales, your 6th round draft pick, who's making league minimum salary in there. So that would probably, but that's not going to be your answer. So the Bears are between stink and something else.
Well, there's always something that comes out in the free agency that doesn't come back with another team. I mean, that's always an option. Something that's a second teamer that has flashes. I mean, it's crazy to say, but I mean, Mark Sanchez has had some flashes out in Philadelphia. He's not going to be the starter. I mean, Nick Foles is the guy out there going forward.
Yes.
Mark Sanchez is just in there for the time being.
Yes.
I mean, there's going to be other second string. Robert Griffin III. I mean, is going to be available at the end of the year. Not that you'd want to take on him. I mean, he's been a bust, pretty big bust for the Redskins. But, I mean, there's going to be a second string kind of first string B quarterback that's going to be available you can live with for a year, that's had experience and can kind of teach a rookie quarterback.
Right. It's not the same tenor and situation and feel like they had going into this past offseason or even the offseason before, where you think there's a window where the Bears have an opportunity to win a championship. Forget that out of your mind, because there is no window right now. It's time to rebuild. So it wouldn't hurt to play David Fales or Jimmy Clausen. Jimmy Clausen could be serviceable. He was very, very sub-average when he had some opportunity to start for the Carolina Panthers. He did look good in preseason this year against third and fourth string guys and guys that never made NFL rosters. So don't hang your hat on that.
And let's not totally trash Jimmy Clausen, because he played for the Carolina Panthers, who were just absolutely awful. I mean, that's before they committed to a new general manager, a new head coach. I mean, there was really no talent around Jimmy Clausen other than one receiver, Steve Smith. I mean, you can't win when you're getting sacked all the time and the running back can't get out of the backfield.
Yeah, obviously they drafted Cam Newton the following year, I believe. They just had Clausen for 1 year, and then they went to Newton the following year. Is that how it went down? So, and obviously Cam Newton raised the level of the offense. So you can see in that, you kind of, if you're going to, in the NFL, you look at the big name quarterbacks, and then you look at go back and look at the last 5-6 Super Bowl champions. Every one of them is one of these top quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers. And you're talking about a couple guys that lost Super Bowls too, but Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, were in Super Bowls in recent years, didn't win them, but have won them in the past. Drew Brees won a Super Bowl 2009. Russell Wilson is a top-tier quarterback in the NFL, believe it or not. Obviously, coming off Super Bowl. You got your Ben Roethlisberger, and the one kind of wild card in there that I was hopeful that Jay Cutler could be similar to is, your Baltimore Ravens, Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Joe Flacco was kind of a guy on the rise. He had a couple of decent years, but he couldn't get over the hump. And then all of a sudden in that playoffs run, that was 2012 or 2013, that run that they had, 2012 into the 2013 calendar year. Man, he was just unbelievable, getting all of his guys revved up and making the great passes, had a huge Super Bowl game.
Well, yeah, and the infamous Denver blown coverage, what a game that was. If you're a sports fan in general, that was one of the best awesome moments, but yeah, that was cool.
It was. And we're talking quarterbacks here. We do have a caller. I just want to make this a point across. You mentioned these great quarterbacks. The Bears have gone through 20 quarterbacks in the last 20 years, over 20 quarterbacks. And I'm looking through the list of the guys. We've had some really bad ones. Rick Meyer, Moses Moreno, Jim Miller, Shane Matthews, and Jay Cutler, Kyle Orton. Nothing more than decent. And out of this pile of decency, the best quarterback I can come up with is Eric Kramer. That's my pick for the best quarterback in the last 20 years, and we know how he landed in Chicago and went out.
Jim Harbaugh had a decent career after he left the Bears, as did
Captain Comeback down for the Indianapolis Colts.
As did Eric Kramer, was decent. Jim Miller had a serviceable season in there, but obviously they had a much better defense at that time, a very solid defense.
Jim Harbaugh had the same attitude as he does now. Ditka didn't like that attitude, and the general manager of the 49ers doesn't like that attitude. Very brash.
Did you hear about the rumor about University of Michigan's offer to Jim Harbaugh?
I would be very shocked if he did not take that offer.
I guess his wife doesn't want to move out of California, though, move to Michigan. But 6 years, $48 million to coach some kids. Oh, man. That's some big dollars. It's more than he's making as an NFL coach, and probably a much easier job. Obviously, though, the pressure would be high on him.
I would say being an NFL coach would be tougher.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He could take more money for an easier job.
No, I would say actually. No, I'm sorry. NFL would be easier because recruiting is so difficult. Kids are like the weather. Well, hey, it's. I don't know. It's just hard to describe how tough it is to be a recruiter.
Yeah, but you got traditions, and I mean, you could talk kids into playing for you. In the NFL, it's like you got a draft order, and that's that. And speaking of draft order, right now the Bears are currently 9th on the draft board. If the season ended today, they're not even good at being bad.
No, that's just like the Cubs. The Cubs and the Bears are always bad, but they are never bad enough to get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, can't you? If you're going to be bad, just be really bad.
It just comes out to this. It sucks to suck. Hey, we had a call on the line, 219-845-1100. Rich and Ryan's Pro Football Weekly. Welcome to the show.
Well, you answered my question, which was what are the Bears' options in terms of trading him and what that means in terms of finances and so forth. But so you've answered that question. I am just, what do I know about sports? I'm not a big professional sports guy, but just looking at it from a business point of view and watching his performance over the last 2 or 3 years, I wouldn't have offered the guy more than a 1-year contract.
Well, they could have franchise tagged him. Last year was the end of his previous contract, and they had the option to franchise tag Jay Cutler or sign him to an extension. And obviously the extension was the route they went with, which there's about a carton of eggs in their face.
And the highest paid quarterback in the NFL to boot? Why was that? What rationale is behind that? Right,
yeah. That's why Phil Emery's probably out of the job. Jim Deedlow and Ryan and I have been texting each other all week, and Deedlow believes that Emery has to go. And then you look around the media, and not just in Chicago, but in national media, I think that's pretty much the consensus is that Phil Emery is done after a 3-year stint as the general manager of the Bears. He's made some good picks, but he's also made some really bad picks too. And especially this past offseason, the only thing good I think maybe that was decent out of it was Willie Young, I think was an excellent free agent addition, the defensive end from the Detroit Lions. Great addition. That guy, how many sacks has he got? 13, 14?
He's got a lot of them this year for the Bears.
For pennies on the dollar but Jared Allen, he's the defensive Orlando Pace. You remember when Jay Cutler was signed in 2009 to come to the Bears, but they also brought in Hall of Fame left tackle Orlando Pace, who at that point needed a pacemaker because he was a shell of a professional athlete. And I think Jared Allen's the same thing. He's the defensive Orlando Pace.
Let me offer a business comment about Harbaugh and the University of Michigan offer to him. I'm looking at it like from a business perspective. What is his prospects, and why would they make this offer for him? Well, I could just hear the pitch to potential recruits. Look, we've got a coach who is a successful player in the NFL. He's been a successful coach in the NFL. Do you want to end up playing in the NFL? He's going to show you how to get to the NFL.
Yeah, and they believe, obviously, the situation in Michigan is dysfunctional as well, kind of almost compared to the Bears, that the total collapse this year. All Jim Harbaugh has to say is, I hate Buckeyes. And
and the thing is, Jim Harbaugh, when he was playing at Michigan, he beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that tenacious.
And they'll remember that forever because that's all they care about is beating Ohio State.
There's one thing to talk about it, but to do it is another thing. And I like that little segment. Can we call that segment you just gave us about Harbaugh, the Wisdom with Walt segment? I like that. Hey, Walt, always good talking to you.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize he was a Michigan player, but
Yeah.
it's been a real shock to see the collapse of the Michigan football program, given their history. But here's it on top of it. He's a Michigan guy on top of it. Wow.
And Walt, you said you're not into sports that much.
He's royalty.
You're going very deep with us today.
I just apply business logic, which is useful in any walk of life.
Absolutely.
Anyone, whether it be running a family, a small business, running a church, running a government, business sense works. And if you stray from a business approach to things, you're going to fail unless you have big guns to back up your demands.
Hey, Walt, I've got a question for you.
Yep.
In regards to your business approach, do you believe in the chain of command, the top down? That the top shouldn't leapfrog the next guy down to make decisions. Do you believe in that?
Well, the theory of management is that there's no single approach that necessarily works. I mean, there's the top-down approach, there's the bottom-up approach, there's a the autocratic approach, there's a laissez-faire approach, the democratic approach. The truth of the matter is there's no evidence to support that anyone necessarily is the world beater. And so it depends on the situation. It depends on the people involved. Some situations, depending on where the organization is, may need an autocratic kick butt, take names approach. But if it's a mature operation that's successful, maybe a more laissez-faire approach will work there. But there's no single management philosophy that is the world beater. And if anybody tells you it is, they're lying.
Well, hey, Walt, wisdom from Walt, like Ryan said. Excellent.
Hey, Walt, don't go changing on me, all right?
Well, we'll do the best we can.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Yep.
Always love talking to Walt. And before we take Carl from Highland, we just want to remind everybody this is Rich and Ryan's Pro Football Weekly. We'll take some calls on the Bears, but we'll also go through this week's games tonight. Ugly matchup. I don't know how they got this one pulled off. Tennessee at Jacksonville, 2-12, 2-12, primetime game.
Yeah, it's another one of those lose on purpose bowl because you want the first pick, don't you? You want to stick with Blake Bortles, or do you Tennessee might want to out of the Jay Cutler what do you call it the running or whatever and go with the they call it suck for the duck. Have you heard this? The Oregon Duck, Marcus Mariota, the Heisman Trophy winner, is looking like the surefire number one draft pick unless the team with the number one pick is a team that has a quarterback that they feel confident in. Could be the Oakland Raiders with Derek Carr. I would not draft Marcus Mariota if I was the Oakland Raiders.
I would draft him if I was a Tennessee Titans ownership member. Let's see who else is down in the dumps for stink. Those are the worst teams. The New York Jets need a quarterback.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I mean,
Geno Smith is not your man.
I would
sorry,
say,
guys.
If the Jacksonville Jaguars had a number one pick, they would probably trade it down a couple spots and get an offensive lineman or a halfback. Because Blake Bortles, he's going to be a good quarterback. If they get some guys around him that can protect him, I mean, he's running out there like a chicken with his head off. I mean, getting chased by everybody. But we'll talk about the Jaguars another time. They're not worth talking about more than a minute. 219-845-1100. It is 9 o'clock. It is AM 1230 WJOB in Hammond, Indiana. Ryan Walsh, Rich Christakes, Pro Football Weekly, brought to you by Schilling Lumber. We've got Carl on the line. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning. I have a suggestion. How about we bring Jim Harbaugh in as player coach? That way, all the mistakes could be on one person.
Jim Harbaugh, he's 40-some years old now?
So what?
Oh, man.
That would be fun if he was a little bit younger, Carl. I think we could do it.
Yeah, we had him. We did have him on the Bears in the 90s. Yeah.
It all goes back to when Papa Hallis decided who was going to marry his daughter, because I think it's been a downhill slide since then.
Yeah, what general manager is going to want to come into this dysfunction? And if we had more time for Walt, we could have gotten further into that. But why would you want to come work for these guys?
Yeah, it's I think the McCaskey is the byword.
Yep.
All right, Carl. Thanks for the input.
Take care.
You too. Hey, I was thinking about this yesterday. Al Hamnick was on from the NWI Times with Jed. I don't know if you caught that or not. There's a lot of talk about Emery and then Cutler and Tressman, but there's a guy that keeps on bringing in bad general managers and bad people in the front office, bad coaches. I mean, he's the one that's really in charge. He's above Emery.
Ted Phillips.
And that's Ted Phillips. And I was reading his biography on the Bears website, and it talks about him bringing the Bears back to greatness and stability. He's been there since, I think it's 1994 or 1995 as the president. What a joke. How can they write that?
Well, I think he gained a ton of collateral or basically brownie points with the McCaskey family when that deal with renovating the Soldier Field went through.
Which is not a good one.
Supposedly he saved the family hundreds of millions of dollars.
They like that. That's why he's the favorite. He's the golden boy.
So he became the golden boy, and he's been kind of riding that for over a decade now. But I think that the time is up.
Don't you agree? It's above Emery. I mean,
absolutely.
He brought in Angelo. He brought in Emery.
He brought and he didn't
Dumb and Dumber,
and he didn't allow Emery to make the coaching decisions. And then there are some things that when you handcuff your general manager, why do you even have a general manager? Why don't you just do it yourself?
I kind of see that with the Cubs with Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer. Theo Epstein's the one that's doing all the talking and making all the big deals, and he's the one talking to the media. It's like, well, that's kind of the role of the general manager. But let's go to Brian. Brian's going to be talking about the Packers, I'm sure. Brian's a Bears fan turned Packers fan, I think. Is that true, Brian?
You know what? It's close. But my question is, the offer from Michigan to Harbaugh, is that legitimate? Because I don't know the rules as far as tampering. I know you can't talk to another player or coach from a pro team, but can Michigan legitimately talk to him and make him a bona fide offer?
Yeah, I believe they can,
they'd have to
but it hasn't been confirmed yet.
He's got a contract, so they'd have to ask for permission to talk to him. But there's a source that already said that they had a negotiation already because he turned down an offer already. So that's I think it's legit. I really do. And that's more than Nick Saban. That's more than Nick Saban. That's about $700,000 more than Nick Saban would make for the next 2 or 3 years.
That's amazing. I mean, his record, in college, I'm looking at it, was 58 and 27 total between Stanford and San Diego.
Yeah, he was blessed with Andrew Luck.
Yeah, but with the pros at 43 and 18, he's successful in what he's doing. He's just having a bad year, and Kaepernick is going kind of backwards. I don't know what happened to him, but making Alex Smith, that decision looked kind of poor. The other day, Ryan, you guys were talking football in the morning, you and Jed, and he kind of stopped you when you said something bad about Drew Brees and told you never to badmouth him again, and he's the owner and that type of thing. So this is your show, and you're the sports director, and for some reason, Jed thinks Drew Brees is the second coming as far as quarterbacks go. Can you actually give your true opinion on it now, since you have the freedom to talk? I'd like to hear that.
Yes, we did have a little bit of disagreement. Jed was saying that Drew Brees is at the top of his game, and I disagreed. I disagreed because I don't think he is. He's not really on a downturn, but he's not playing up to what he had been. I don't think it's really a down. He's still got over 4,000 yards. He's got 30-some touchdown passes, but he's got 12 picks. And he was awful the week before against the Carolina Panthers on their home field. They got beat by the Carolina Panthers by 30-some points. So I was just saying, hey, Jim, I don't think that he's in the top of his game. He's had a couple bad weeks here late in the season when they've needed him.
Yeah, a downturn for him is still better than 90% of the league.
Right, but it's just that the way he kind of shut Ryan down, he was the holy grail of quarterbacks, and he's not. He's up there, but he's not the best of all time, and he just kind of put him on that pedestal for a minute, and the way he kind of shut Ryan down I didn't think it was fair, so I just wanted to hear Ryan's true opinion.
Well, I appreciate that, Brian. And the thing with Drew Brees, I'm an IU guy. Drew Brees is Mr. Purdue. I absolutely have always loved watching Drew Brees back when he was at Purdue in the NFL in San Diego. I think they did him wrong. I'm happy for him. He's not one of those quarterbacks that like what's his face, the guy from he's on with the Ravens.
Talking about Flacco?
No, Dilfer. Not like a Trent Dilfer. He earned his ring. He may not get another ring being a quarterback in the NFL, but that ring he had, that was all his heart leading the Saints to the title a couple years ago over the Colts. So, I really do like Drew Brees. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the game still.
They did a nice little piece on him during the Bears Monday night game on how hard he worked to get to where he, is and or was and he
Undersized.
still is, and he's still working hard. Probably one of the most accurate, I think, maybe second to Aaron Rodgers as far as accuracy goes.
Now, I have finally had a chance to watch a majority of a Bears game due to work. I'm not able to do that all the time. Have you ever seen somebody that's making, I believe it's on average, $1 million per game?
That's Cutler.
So, yeah, less energetic, less enthused, less, I don't want to be here, I'm getting a check anyway. You would think that he would have some, just energy for being paid that much money, at least appear or act like he wanted to be there, because he knows things are going, south for him as far as quarterback in Chicago, and his days are numbered, whether it's as a starter or, like you talked about earlier, cutting ties with him, and could cost you $11 to $16 million. But is it worth it to let him sit on the bench? I mean, people are complaining that they're going to bench him and put Clausen in for 2 games. Well, Clausen's not the best quarterback in the league. But
no,
he's a professional. He's there, and I think he might bring a little bit more energy, at least for a couple of games, keep people interested for for what it's worth.
Yeah, Clausen's more of a high energy guy for sure. You can blame Cutler's demeanor and energy level on diabetes. You can blame it on just having a poor attitude. Whatever it is, the Bears have had a chance to look at this guy for 6 years. They know him better than the media and better than the fans do. They talk to him on a personal level. They talk to his doctors. They know what's going on with his health.
Yeah.
And what's weird is that it's almost like, in retail, we call it store blind. I like to go to a different store and see some things that I miss, and then it kind of opens my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something similar to that, but you've had 2 different general managers give him 3 different contracts now with the Bears.
But he 9 years in the league, 1 playoff game. You're telling me that Ted Phillips or any other general manager like myself can't turn on a computer and go to Google or Wikipedia and see what he has or hasn't done?
Right.
I mean, the record stands for itself. He's not. I mean, he's proved nothing here in Chicago.
He's a practice champion. He's a practice champion, I guess.
So
because
is Mark Trestman.
And yeah. Hey, Brian.
Right,
before you go, Brian, I want to ask you this, and I want to get your thoughts before you go.
Sure.
How would you compare Jay Cutler to Walter Payton?
Really? That's there's not even a comparison.
Thank you. Bears nominated him as the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
What?
It's not. It's when they say apples and oranges, it's not even that close. It's so far.
It's like a coconut and a banana.
Yeah, not even. There's no.
Well, those are both fruit. I think I would change to like coconut and like a salamander.
Yeah, I mean Walter Payton Cutler is like as useless as a screen door on a submarine. I mean it's horrible. Anyway.
Yeah,
that's my answer.
Thank you, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry
That's right.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you soon. And that's exactly. I knew Brian. Brian always comes in. He calls in different shows and has a very good response.
Yeah,
on goofy questions like that. And yeah, the Bears nominated Jay Cutler. Every team has to nominate a player for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
I know Charles Tillman has won that award and has deserved it.
For nominating that player, it's a guy that gives back to the community and is well respected in the locker room. So it just shows to me that wasn't voted on in the locker room. That comes from the front office making that decision, because there's no way after 8 or 10 guys this year have blasted him publicly, that he could get that award, a nomination.
They're reaching. Maybe that's a ploy for some trade value, which there is none. Let's finish these picks, Ryan, because we've got to move on.
Yeah, you got a big thing coming up today.
Hey, don't tell anybody. It's a secret.
I didn't tell anyone what it is. I just said you got a big thing. I mean, I got a big thing today too.
What do you got going on?
Just watching TV later on.
Tie shopping?
No,
I love your tie, Ryan. That's a great tie.
If people are watching on WJOB1230.com or Jed.tv, it's a red tie with a snowman and some elves helping set up the outfit with the scarf and snowball fights. But picks, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars on the home field.
I am too. I think Tennessee sucks for the duck.
Philadelphia at Washington. Eagles easily.
Oh, God, yeah. Hey, we were both really good at our picks last week. We were almost, I think we had 2 wrong.
Yep, we were on fire last week.
That was a good week. Anyways, keep going.
We should get paid for this.
We should.
San Diego at San Francisco. 8-6 at 7-7. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Ooh. Huh. I'm going San Diego.
Detroit at the Bears. I'm going to go with Detroit.
Detroit all day. Megatron is going to live in the end zone because the Bears cannot play defense.
He's going to put a bet in there.
He might.
Atlanta at New Orleans.
He could be laying down. He'll still. We're gonna go with New Orleans. They're gonna make their way into the playoffs as a losing team.
Yeah.
They're gonna win that division, even though they got spanked by the Panthers a couple weeks ago.
Cleveland at Carolina. The Midgets back in the lineup for Cleveland.
We were both wrong about that one. So far, it's been 1 week, but that was a really bad.
What a weird matchup that was this year. Cincinnati way better than Cleveland. Midway in the season on Thursday Night Football gets just destroyed by Brian Hoyer. They lose that game. They come back up to Cleveland and put up a 31-0 spot on to Cleveland. Cleveland at Carolina. I mean,
I think Johnny has a good game.
Cleveland wins it because there's no Cam Newton in Carolina.
Josh Gordon is going to have a big touchdown. He's going to get loose. And
he's going to
Johnny's going to run for 75 yards and a touchdown. Also.
He's going to smoke the Carolina defense.
Yeah.
Like whatever he was smoking last summer. Green Bay at Tampa Bay.
Green Bay.
Not even close in this one.
Close. Who's the backup up there in Green Bay? Is it
Never heard of him.
Seneca Wallace? I don't know. He's gone, I think. Seneca Wallace throws like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, by the way.
If Coach would have put me in, we would have won the state title.
Yeah. He could, back in 82, he could throw a pigskin a quarter mile. Should we keep going?
Yeah, we should keep going. Kansas City at Pittsburgh, taking the home team Steelers.
Yes.
It's the
Steelers.
It's the Andy Reid Christmas tradition. Move into a wild card spot and lose that late in the season. Minnesota at Miami.
We love that Andy Reid December fall apart tradition. I'm sorry, Andy Reid. We've been really hard on you, but anyways.
He should send out Christmas cards to all of his fans saying, sorry, we tried so hard for the first 2.5 months.
But he does win the mustache championship for the AFC.
Yes.
All right, continue.
New England at New York Jets. New England.
Yeah.
Wait, we didn't give our Dolphins and Vikings picks. I'm going to go Miami at home.
I'm going to definitely agree with you.
New England at New York Jets. Yes. Baltimore at Houston.
Well, no Ryan Fitzpatrick now. I don't know if Houston wants Jay Cutler either, but we're going to go with Ravens.
Yes, Ravens. New York Giants at St. Louis Rams. I'm going to go with the Giants. No, I'm going to go with the Rams.
Rams.
Buffalo at Oakland.
Are the Rams going to make the playoffs?
No. They're 6-8.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
They've fallen behind suddenly. They've fallen behind that San Francisco 49ers.
They need is Sam Bradford, can you just like give him like a bionic knee in each leg and just call it a day? Don't even like wait for him to get hurt again. Just, schedule the surgeries now.
Yeah.
All right, go continue.
Buffalo at Oakland. In Oakland, I'm taking the Raiders.
In Oakland. Yeah, because they don't care about that number 1 pick. They want number 2. They're gonna go defense. The Alabama defensive end. The name is escaping me, so they can win that game and not worry about it. I'm gonna take the Oakland Raiders as well. Is that game being broadcast on WJOB?
No, it's not. This next one is though. Colts at Cowboys.
Colts at Cowboys. Ooh.
I'm taking Dallas.
All right, hold on. This has to be said because we've ignored this fact all season. Jay Cutler leads the NFL in turnovers. You know who's number 2 in the NFL in turnovers?
Jay Cutler. It's number 2 would be Tony Romo.
Andrew Luck.
Number 2.
Andrew Luck. And had Cutler not thrown 3 picks last week, it would have been very, very close. I couldn't believe when I saw that stat. It goes Jay Cutler, Andrew Luck, then Blake Bortles. But Andrew Luck wins games. So he has overcome those turnovers. Anyhow, that's just one of those things you got to say. And then I think Eli Manning is 4th behind Bortles.
Yeah.
And Eli Manning and Jay Cutler are like kind of almost like the same person, maybe. They show all these flashes and then they just give the ball away randomly.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
You're going with the Cowboys?
I'm going with the Cowboys.
I'm going with the Colts.
And then 2 great games to finish up the season, or the week, not the season. I'm ahead of myself.
Not far off, though.
Seattle at Arizona. I'm taking the hometown third-string team over the Seattle Seahawks.
That's going to be a great game. Obviously, Arizona does not have a quarterback, but they're still good. That defense, and they're so well coached. I'm going to take the Seahawks, even on the road, but it's a tough one, and I just have to take the Seahawks because I believe that they're going to eat alive whoever the fourth-string quarterback of the Cardinals is. Who do they got? Who's in there now?
Don't even know yet. I don't think they know. They might be calling Brett Favre.
And that might be better than what
they might be calling Jim Harbaugh the play and coach.
They don't need a coach, but
Denver at Cincinnati. Road game, cold weather, late in December. Peyton Manning loses. I think that Marvin Lewis is finally going to get his Bungles over the hump on a primetime game and get a victory.
I can't believe Marvin Lewis is still the coach. Is he like the second longest tenured coach in the NFL behind Belichick?
He's up there for a long time and not without any playoff wins. That's remarkable.
He kept his job through some tough times.
Some gun charges, prostitution charges. I mean, they've had all kinds of crap going on.
Not on him personally, but on his players. Yeah. I'm going to go with the Bengals as well. I like that Jeremy Hill guy. He's got I don't like his attitude, but I like his playing style. He's a good running back.
I'm hoping it happens, but they win this week over Denver, setting up a matchup for the playoffs in Pittsburgh next weekend. You know, I'm a pretty calm fan. A couple years ago, I was in the airport on Christmas Eve, flying out to another country.
And Terry Bradshaw was there.
No, Terry Bradshaw wasn't there. The Steelers and Bengals are playing, and the Bengals eliminated the Steelers. Some guy, I'm talking with some friends, watching the game very peacefully. Some guy that's wearing a Bengals hat comes up to me and yells in my face, "Enjoy your holiday!" and just walks away when the Bengals won the game. They won on a last-second field goal. Didn't know who the guy was. All he said was, "Enjoy your holiday" in my face. So I hope he enjoys his holiday because they're going to be home.
Wow. Ryan will never forget that moment.
No, I won't. My friends won't forget about it either. Every year for Christmas now, we send each other texts saying, "Enjoy your holiday."
Yeah. Well, you know what? All I can say about the Steelers is they have a free safety who has the best hair in any sport. So
that's why he's got millions of dollars off of it.
Yes.
You know, like Heidi Klum, the model, has her legs insured. Like David Beckham, soccer player as well.
Palomalo should get the hair insured.
Yeah. I mean, you only have
probably is. He's done some pretty good shampoo commercials over the years.
I'm going to be interested when he's about 20 years older, when he's in his 50s. Like, is the hair going to be that way still?
Has he cut it?
He cut like 2 or 3 inches off for a charity event.
Because I remember the word was he didn't cut it since he played like his freshman year at USC or something like that, and it just kept growing and growing. I just think it's too much personally, but hey, you know what? It's not my hair, so why not?
Jim D coming back into the building wearing his blue headband, Colts color, and we got a Colts fan on the line. Let's go to Carl. Hey, Carl.
Gentlemen, so just a couple of quick questions for you. Who was more of a disappointment as a Bears quarterback, Grossman or Cutler?
Cutler. Makes about 10 times as much money as Grossman did.
Cutler, unfortunately.
Cutler. Yeah. And if you had a choice to go to an award ceremony honoring Jay Cutler or doing your own dental work with a DeWalt 3/8-inch cordless drill, which one would you choose?
Dental work.
Yeah, the dental work sounds really good.
All righty then.
You got any more of these? These are fun.
Those are the 2 for this morning. I'm just happy with the AFC South champions. If they take it any further, that's nice. If not, we still did better than Bears.
That's right. So, hey, Carl, Sunday afternoon, the Colts are on WJOB.
Really?
Yep.
I am there. I am in that zone. You know, I work in a Chicago elementary school, so I am a very lonely guy when it comes down to football. Because, yeah, I'm all surrounded by Bears fans. And you walk into my office, you will see the Peyton Manning Super Bowl poster with him cocking his arm back, about ready to hit a receiver. Whereas I think Grossman, the only guy you got in that Super Bowl matchup was the popcorn vendor because he was open.
I was at the game with you were talking Grossman now?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a great start to that season. He was actually NFC Offensive Player of the Month for September. The Bears were beating everybody by 40, if you remember that. And Grossman was like an MVP candidate. And then he started throwing some picks, and he lost his confidence. But that defense obviously carried them. That was another team that had a two-back. They were a running team. Thomas Jones, Cedric Benson was a rookie at the time. That team, those guys ran with heart, and you knew they were going to pick up the first down when they needed it, and keep the defense clock control, keep the defense off the field. The Bears can't even do that right now. And so, anyways,
I just remember watching Manning in the Super Bowl and saying, "This is what a quarterback is supposed to look like." He gets the ball, takes a couple seconds, finds the receiver, and bam, there it goes, right into his hands. Wow, why can't other teams do this? But unfortunately, my dear friend Mr. Manning there has deteriorated a little bit, and even some things surgery can't make right. So what do you do?
That's right.
So Carl, what do you think Jimmy Clausen is going to come in and all of a sudden throw 4 touchdowns and no picks, and everybody's going to say, crap? What do you think of the chances of that?
Yeah, I think the spirit of the team's broken. I think, when your leadership doesn't set the tone for high morale and high standards, it just kind of deteriorates everything. So, if there's a Christmas miracle, maybe.
They're still going to give up 50 points on defense. You know that.
Oh, yeah. They'll manage to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. No problem.
All right. Hey, Carl, great call. We're going to have to wrap this up. This is Rich and Ryan's Pro Football Weekly, brought to you by Schilling Brothers Lumber. Schilling, envision, design, build. Hey, Ryan, it's been another great week. We got a couple more picks to wrap up here?
We finished up with the Bengals and the Broncos and some great calls. I'm still laughing about Brian saying that Jay Cutler is as useful as a screen door is on a submarine. That's echoing in my mind. I love when people say stuff like that. It's just off the cuff, and
hopefully things aren't echoing in your mind, Ryan.
They do echo.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, well, this is our last show before.
There's a sign on the wall in front of us that says, "Don't be an idiot." And then there's another sign, folks, just to give you some visuals, that says, "Relax, have fun, and be honest." And those are obviously Jim Deedlow's doing.
The last one, "Don't be an idiot," is Jim Deedlow told the caller, "Don't be an idiot." So Chuck Poland told me, "Hey, Ryan, can you make that a sign?" So I did it for Chuck. That's actually Chuck's Christmas gift. That and something cotton candy. Chuck has a cotton candy fetish.
Chuck's got a DeLorean fetish.
He does.
That guy's obsessed with 1985 and
vintage
Christopher Lloyd.
He sure is. Hey, it's our last show together before we get back after Christmas. So, Rich, Merry Christmas to your family and yourself.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I'm looking forward to the playoffs.
Oh, we'll be playing that a couple times on our next show here 2 weeks from today. Actually, will we be here 2 weeks from today? No, that's New Year's Day.
So what? What do you do? You don't work on New Year's Day?
We do not.
I actually have had this debate with my staff a number of times. Should we be closed on New Year's Day? And it's funny because, here's the argument I have is that, we have pets and we have plants. Somebody's got to take care of the pets and somebody's got to water the plants. So why not be open and take in some money if we have to have some staff there? But, hey, Ryan, can we end with this?
Yes, hang on just a second. Let me get this.
But, and people still drive to work. People still listen to the radio. Why wouldn't we be here on New Year's Day? I'm going to petition that I get up early on New Year's Day. I just won't go to bed. What do you think?
I'm just going to say I'm going to be out late with my friends. I got a rare chance to see my friends coming up on New Year's Eve, and going to get up and go get some wings at one of our sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings, and eat wings and watch football all day long. Like the first game is 9 or 10 a.m.
All right. Well, darn it. I don't think I'm going to win that one.
We'll do it on we can do it on the 31st or the 2nd.
Can we do it on a different day than a Thursday?
Yeah. I'm
flexible. I love doing this show.
He's flexing right now, actually. He's going to rip his shirt.
Are you watching on WJOB AM 1230.com? WJOB1230.com. You can see me flexing. So we're going to end with this. Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas.